Stephanie Milky here, aka KetoMOM, or often called mom, sis, Steffi, daughter, wife, aunt, and friend. Just like many of you, I carry a lot of titles. My favorite title is mom. I should probably say wife, which takes a lot of my time. But let's be honest, if you want to do something and do it well, you will make the time for it. Commitment is hard because we find ourselves overcommitted, but when you practice prioritizing, you will find out what is actually important and what you can let go. With the KetoMOM podcast, you will learn together how to manage our time, commit to the most important things in life, and I will equip you with the tools you need to feel qualified each step of the way. My name is Stephanie Milky, and welcome to the KetoMOM Secrets podcast. Hello. Welcome to the KetoMOM page. My name is Stephanie, and we are going to dive into the 7 steps. It's called the path. The 7 steps. That's not what it's called. It's called the path, and there's 7 steps. So tell me where you're tuning in from. All right. So I have been talking about one step at a time all this last week. If you're tuning in and you're watching live, it is Saturday. I just did a cold plunge. Well, my husband and I did our walk, cold plunge. I did my meditation, my form of meditation outside in the sun today. So tell me where you're tuning in from and how is your Saturday going? And if you're watching live, it is approximately almost 12:30 Eastern time, which means it's almost lunchtime. So what are you having for lunch? We're going to have leftovers. We made burgers and brats on the grill yesterday. I think we've got leftover tacos in the fridge, so my children need to eat all the leftovers before it goes bad because I don't like wasting food. Now, if you're brand new, welcome to the KetoMOM page. I will give you recipes, how to get started. I will help you whatever questions you have. You can always go to ketomomsecrets.com and click on recipes, how to get started. We've got a book club over there. We've got ketones and trial packs over there. So whatever you need, ketomomsecrets.com, or you can send me a message. Also, before we dive in, so we watched an event last weekend called, babe, what was it called? Time to Rise Summit by Tony Robbins. It was a virtual event. We watched it online. We watched it from our home with a living room full of people. And then we just did it yesterday and the day before. So we did it Thursday and Friday with our friends here locally and their kids. So a bunch of teenagers. And I will tell you, at first, the teenagers weren't super thrilled to sit around for approximately 10 hours and watch Tony Robbins talk to them about mindset, but they all learned quite a bit. And at the end, they all said they enjoyed it. And they all came out with ideas and different things they're going to work on their own path. So I'm going to share something with you. This entire booklet my husband made for us, and I'm going to be sharing all week different things that we learned from the summit. But I'm going to talk specifically today about the path. I've been talking about it all week, and I'm going to give you all 7 steps of what the 7 steps are. Because Tony Robbins says this, he's like, if you want something in life, there's a path to get there. And the path isn't straight, right? There's not like you start here and you go straight up without any challenges or out any hurdles. There are going to be challenges and hurdles. There are going to be things in life you're going to have to work through. For example, what do you want? What are some things you've been dreaming about or longing for or hoping for or wishing for or just thinking that would be so great? Right? Things don't just fall into your lap, but if you work for it and you've got the right mindset, guess what can happen? A lot of great things can happen. So he talked about different areas of your life. So he kind of made it into a pyramid. And he's like, there's different areas. You've got your physical life, your emotional, your relationships, your time. You've got your career, your finances, and your spiritual part of your life. What do you want to work on? And we're going to talk about, because oftentimes I can go, hey, here's the path to success. Or here, let's say you're here today. Where do you want to go? You're not going to pick all of the areas of your life. You're going to go, I actually think the most important area for me to focus on today is it your health, a relationship, your finances, like whatever it is, you're going to choose. He says, if you want progress, you have to consciously decide to put yourself on the path. And here is the path. So I would encourage you to grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, take some notes. I'm going to give you step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you want better in your life, if you want something different, if you're like, I'm sick of sitting on the couch, or I'm sick of like sitting here waiting for life to, I'm letting life happen to me. It's time to make life happen, right? It's time for you to be in control. So taking notes, step number one, and we talked about this last week, but I'm going to go through all the steps. Step number one is just simply, well, first of all, he gives you the steps, but oftentimes, okay, I just did a cold plunge. I did the cold plunge. I shared it on the KetoMOM page. It's on the KetoMOM Secrets page. I did a little live about it. And the reason I did it is to shock myself out of this comfort state, right? So he says, we sit in our lives, in our daily, like what you're doing currently, and you're comfortable. And sometimes you just even have to shock yourself to get out of that state of comfortability, right? So maybe as you're listening to me, you're like, I've listened to KetoMOM. My name's Stephanie. I've listened to her for years. My question to you is, have you done the things I have suggested, or the things that I have shared other people have been doing that work? Have you done any of the action? Like if you're sitting listening to me and you're like, I know all of this, or I've heard all of this, or I've listened to other people talk about this, the question you have to ask yourself is, have you actually done it, right? So you might have to get uncomfortable. If you're listening and you're like, if you're slouched over and you're kind of tired, like get up, do a couple jumping jacks, move your body, shake it out, like get into a different state, right? You need to feel it. You need to think it. I need you to be awake. Are you awake? I want to like knock on all of your heads. Are you awake? Wake up. All right, number one, if you're taking notes, is what do you really want? So number one, write down, what do I really want? And just so you know, I'm going to give you these steps, and you're going to have to go back and actually ask yourself these questions. What do I want in life? What do you want in your finances, in your physical body, in your relationships, in your career? What do you want? That's the question to ask yourself. It's going to activate or awaken a hunger. So it says, we're about to unleash your desire, right? We're going to activate and awaken your hunger. What do you want? And he says, even like, here's what he said yesterday, and we told our girls this. So we told the girls, don't think about what you want, because they're preteens and teenagers. Don't think about what you want when you're 30, 40, 50 right now. He goes, what do you want this year? If you could get to the end of 2024 and go, that was the best year ever, what do you want this year? So that's what we're going to kind of think about in all of those different areas, right? What do you want? So write that down. You've got to get specific. You've got to get measurable. Not like I want $1 million, but if you're on track and you normally make like $50,000 a year, then let's get a little bit more specific. Smart, attainable, achievable goals. What do you want this year? Number one. All right. Number two, he says you have to find and face the truth. The truth will set you free. So oftentimes there's two parts to this, right? You've got to face the truth where you're at. So either A, you have to go, I'm really in a pickle and I really need to shape up and cut up my credit card, stop going to Target, shut off my Amazon account, or I need to actually join the gym. I need to get rid of my Netflix so I go for a walk. Like, let's find and face the truth. What's the truth and where you're at? Where's your health? Where's your relationship? So you've got to sit here and go, okay, here's where I'm at. On the flip side of that, I want you to think about this. Don't see something worse than it is. So oftentimes we can go, I'm so frustrated because I've already done this. I've lost all the weight and I've gained it all back. And maybe you're looking at yourself not in a positive manner, and you just need to go, okay, like, I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm not going to get frustrated. I'm going to forgive myself for allowing myself to go back to those old patterns. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, here's where I'm at. Here's where I'm at. Here's where I'm at. Here's where I want to go this year, right? And I'm not going to see it worse than it is, because you could always go, there's people that are doing better than me and there's people that are doing worse than me, right? Where are you at? All right, number 3, it says, a time to create a map, a massive action plan. So what do you want? Why do you want it? I forgot the why. I apologize. What and why, because the why creates emotion. And it's going to anchor it into you. Number 2 is we're going to figure out where you're actually at. Don't see things worse than it is. Number 3, we're going to create a massive action plan from now until the end of the year. And what is something you can do today? What can you do today? It's a Saturday, unless you're working and you're stuck to your schedule, what can you do today that will bring you back to what you want? There's got to be something. What is it? Is it packing a lunch? Is it going to the grocery store? Is it cleaning out your cupboards? Is it finally going to get the gym membership? Is it phoning a friend and being like, I need accountability. I know you want better as well. Let's do it together. Is it taking your spouse on a date? Is it having some one-on-one conversations with your kids? Is it opening up your Bible? Is it like shutting off the TV and sitting in quietness to calm your mind down? What is one thing that you can do? You're going to have to figure it out. One step, one action you can do when you're done watching me to go take massive action. All right, number 4 says, do what's hard, slay the dragon. We talked about this yesterday. It's like, I would say this, I slay the dragon every day that I cold plunge, because cold plunging is hard. But it also shuts down my mind. I have to like truly walk myself through it. It's like a noise cancellation of your mind to be like, I can do this. It's doing something hard that you don't want to do, but you do it first. He said, if you can do the one hard thing in your day first, the hardest thing, maybe it's going to the gym, or maybe it's whatever it is, that phone call, or maybe whatever it is for you, doing the hard thing first, slaying the dragon, so that it sets the rest of your day up for you to go, I already did the hardest thing. I'm going to dominate the rest of my day. So, and then here's the question for you, or the statement. Write this down. If I say I can't, I must. If I say I can't, I must. Or if I say I should, I must. So I can't go for the walk today. It's raining. Get an umbrella. I can't go to the gym today because I have to do my laundry. Your laundry will always be there. I can't. Nope. No more. You must. Do one of the musts. Make sense? All right. Number 5 says develop a daily practice. In our business, this is something that we coach our team. We call it DMOs, your daily method of operation. What are the things you can do every single day to work towards that what and the why? Number 1, right? So Tony Robbins gave us his layout of his morning. He's like, I get up. The first thing I do is I cold plunge. He goes, I have gratitude. There's a certain way I work out my day. So in my head, I was like this. My husband and I do this. We get up. He does his meditation. We go for a walk together. We listen to a book. We talk. Usually we dive into the cold plunge. We've got red light therapy and workouts. I do a whole bunch of business conversations with my team, get the girls up. I homeschool. Like, there's things that I know that I need to do in my day. Think about non-negotiables. What are some non-negotiables that go to your what and your why, action step number 1, where you write them out and you go, here are my DMOs of my day. Here is he says it's your daily practice. I would say it's your daily method of opportunity or your daily method of operation. What is it? Get out a piece of paper, tape it to your refrigerator, put a note in your phone, check the boxes. Like right now we're doing 75 hard. I love it because I realize I love to check boxes. Anybody else love to like check it? I'm done, right? Feels good. So that is the next step. That's step number 5. We are on to step number 6. He says, raise your standard and measure more often and become self-aware. And the phrase he gave us was, you can't manage what you don't measure. So I'm guilty of this because for years we would measure our food and then we stopped measuring our food and then we thought we knew what we were eating and we've kind of changed the way that we're eating currently. But you might think it's not a big deal. It's all up here. Listen, that's me too. But you can't manage what you don't measure. So if it's food that you're challenged with, start measuring and paying attention to what you eat, right? Or start measuring and managing the steps you take to get in those 10,000 steps a day. Start measuring and put it in the calendar, the date nights that you have each week with your spouse, or the time that you sit down and communicate with each other, or just something different in your career. Like what gets what gets measured gets managed. Make sense? All right. And then number 7, he says, life is a gift. It's time to celebrate. And he just talked about what you give, you have forever. And he talks about how if you're needing something, go give it. Like Celebrate the little wins, stack wins, right? Because oftentimes, I have to think of how he said this. I wrote it down somewhere. I have so many notes. I know. He says at the end of his day, he celebrates. And before he goes to bed, he says, I write 3 things down that I'm thankful for that day. So step number 7 could be before you go to bed, either you acknowledge it or you write it down. What are 3 things you're thankful for? Because he says if you don't, and you don't stack little wins, guess what? He goes, life will stack the losses for you. It'll just naturally do it, because we naturally can think negatively. We naturally let the world take our time. We let other people control our time, but it is a fight and a conscious effort to make sure that you're controlling your time and your mindset, and you're choosing gratitude, which takes work over looking at all the negative in the world and in your life. Does this make sense? So, I'm just going to review them. I would love for you to write them down. I wish I could, I am telling you, if there's one thing that's going to change your life, well, there's 2. Your spiritual walk, I'd love to know. That's a whole nother conversation, but I would say, if you, different conversation. There's 2 things that'll change in your life, 2 things that will change you. Your spiritual walk, for sure. And then, do you control your mind, and do you control the things that you allow in, and the words that you say, and the things that you watch, and the people that you allow in your life? Or do you let circumstances and other people in life just kind of run you over? And you can do hard things, and you're not too old, and you're not too young, and you're not too poor, and you're not too rich, and you're not too anything, because it starts right here. So listen, I will give you all the recipes that you need. I will help you understand intermittent fasting. I will tell you how much water to drink. I will tell you how to track your macros. I will tell you how to logistically lose weight. But if you actually don't have control over this, and you believe that you're not going to reach that goal, then you're right. So let's review real quick. Number 1, what do you want and why do you want it? Number 2, you've got to face where you're actually at. The truth will set you free. Number 3, we've got a roadmap. Take massive action. What can you do today? Number 4, slay the dragon. You're going to do hard things, and you're going to do it every single day. Do the hardest thing first. Number 5, we're going to develop a plan, an action plan, DMOs, your daily method of operation. Number 6, you're going to set standards. You're going to raise the standard and measure what needs to be measured so that you can manage it. And number 7, you're going to get to the end of the day, and you're going to celebrate. You're going to have gratitude. You're going to be thankful for 3 things in your day. It's going to change your life. If you do it, if you take massive action, if you follow the map and you do it consistently for this year, your life will be radically changed. It's not easy. There are challenges that are going to come, and you're going to have to work through it. And I'm going to say this, there's so many things he said. Listen, there's a couple quotes that I want to read to you. He says, the road to someday leads to the town called nowhere. I loved that. The road to someday leads to the town called nowhere. Someday I'll do that. No, you won't. Do it today. All right. And then the last thing he had, this was it was so good. I would encourage you should go to a Tony Robbins event, right? I'm going to go to a physical event eventually with our friends. What are you going to create this year, December 31st, 2024, for you to be able to stand in that moment of time and look back and go, this was a great year. You get to take action today. You get to do it today. And I love that he goes, listen, sometimes people think they've made big mistakes. They've gone the wrong way. It's too late. And he goes, guess what? You are alive today. There's always today. You get to start today, and you can start over today. Make bold moves today. So that's what we talked about. I thought it was super empowering, super helpful. Even the teenagers, we walked through this with all of them. And it was very fun to listen to what they want to achieve in 1 year. So I'll continue to review this for myself and also share things that I'm excited to share with you. I want to say thank you for tuning in. There are a couple things. The reboot is ending. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Stacy. The reboot that we're starting February 25th, it is a community-wide reboot. It's a fast or a cleanse, rebooting your system. You can order that up until February 5th. So you've got a couple more days. This is what it is. You can go watch my live I did yesterday or the day before. We just talked about what the reboot is and how it works. We're going to do it as a large group of people. It's going to be great. We're going to do it on my 41st birthday. We'll start. So we're rebooting on the 25th. If you want more information about the reboot, just post reboot in the comments, or just go to ketomom.com. If you've never tried ketones at all and you want to know more about them and why I drink them, not only do they help your brain and turn your brain on, but they help you immensely to feel incredible. And this week I talked a lot about, you can watch all of the lives and the replays. I talked about hormones and how to get started, and I talked about so many different things. So I would love to help you on your journey. Oh, thank you, Christy. You're so sweet. Reach out with questions. Ask any questions below. I'd love to connect with you and have a great conversation. I'm going to shake up we've got a lot of things that we're doing today. So we're going to go see The Chosen. Have you guys watched The Chosen series? Incredible. Incredible. I think it's on Netflix. I think they're actually on YouTube. Actually, I'm going to shake this up really quick. So we're taking our kids to watch The Chosen. What are you doing today? Somebody tell me. We're going to watch The Chosen, and then we might be taking a little road trip to see my sister just for a really quick 2 days. We've got a couple of things we're going to do, some business stuff. So we've got a fun couple busy days. I'm shaking up my new electrolytes. Here's something that I learned this week. If you want something tactical, if you're like, this is a Keto Mom page, all right, we talked about mindset. So I was on, and if you didn't see this live before, I had all of my blood drawn, and I'm going to end this because I think it's super important to make sure people understand this. I had my blood drawn at the beginning of January, got my blood work back, and I talked about it this last week. And one of the things that the lady had said was most people are dehydrated. And I've talked about this before, but most people are dehydrated, and they don't realize that it's not just water that hydrates their cells, especially if you're doing keto, low carb, or carnivore right now. So, and especially as you dive into, if you live in warm weather or as it gets warmer out, you have to understand that your body needs electrolytes. Not just like table salt. I'm talking about an electrolyte or electrolytes in general and what it does to your cells, and it feeds your cells, not just water. And most people are dehydrated. So I'm going to drink my electrolytes. We are going to have a super, super great day. I'm always here to help. Reach out with questions. Post reboot in the comments if you want to join us for the reboot. And I did say that I would take a picture of this path and I'll post it in the comments. I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to do that. So I will do that when I'm done. Have a great day. I appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.